Okay, we are on to paper 2 of NECO 2015. The way the exam is structured, I think now it's a little more organized. I think from my assessment of the exam, paper 2 is the most demanding. Students' feedback I've gotten concerning this exam has been that paper 2 seems to be very demanding, for just one simple reason, because there's algebra there. Yes. I think paper 2, you have algebra, you have statistics, you have probability. Paper 1 is essentially trigonometry, geometry, and a host of those kind of questions. But there's no problem. It is this paper 2 that is my best area when it comes to preparing you for the exam. I will spend time here because from what I've seen, students seem to complain a lot about this paper 2, but there's no problem. So if you have that, if you're already having that kind of feeling, so you may want to pay very close attention to how we work in paper 2. All right, so let's start. It says express as a single fraction 3 over k minus 2 over t. Now, I'll try to be as soft as possible. Now, the first thing you need to do is look for the LCM. What are the letters in your denominator? You have k and you have t. So you can do your old convention ruling. All these are primes. K, use the order of the letters. K will be 1 and t. T will be what? 1 and 1. So the LCD or LCM will be what? KT. K times t. Now, that will now form your denominator. KT divided by K will give me T. And T times 3 will give me what? 3T. Minus KT divided by T will give me K. K times 2 will give me what? 2K. And this is your answer. That's all. And if you've done that correctly, your answer should be D. Your answer should be what? D. Option D. Now in question 2, you're required to find the HCF of what? HCF of what? 9x squared, and what else? 27xy squared, 27xy squared. You have your question paper there, 27xy squared. Now, in looking for the HCF, it means the highest factor that can divide this. So let me pick 9x squared. Let's pick 27xy squared. For purpose of learning, I'm going to split this out. 9 is what? 3 times 3 times x times x. 27x squared will be what? 3 times 3 times 3 times x times y times y. Are you seeing that? Now, check out what is common. What is common? This 3 is common, this 3 is common, this 3 is common, this 3 is common. X is common here, x is also common here. And that's all you have. So it means that the HCF will be equal to what? 9 will be what? 3 times 3 times x. So the answer is what? 9x. So that's what the HCF will be. 9x. HCF will become what? 9x. Question 3. All right. Question 3. Question 3 is testing your knowledge of change of subject formula. P is equal to, interest is equal to PTR over 100. We are told to make P the subject of the formula. P the subject of the formula. So the first thing you do is to write PTR over 100 equal to what? I. You multiply through by 100, and you're going to have that PTR will be equal to 100I. Are you seeing that? PTR will be equal to 100I. Now, what we need is P, not T and R. So I'll divide both sides by TR. And what does that give me? P will be equal to what? 100I over TR. 100I over TR. Okay, so that's what the question will be. All right, that's what the answer will be. So you check your option and see which of the options. Now, notice that they are using ROT. It's the same thing. So maybe I should go with ROT so that for purpose of consistency, which is obviously the right thing to do, following the letters of the English alphabet. So that is a 100I over, okay, funny enough, the one that looks like the answer here is even E. 100I over what? TR. So whether you write this or you write this, the answer will be the same. Is that clear? The answer will be the same, essentially the same. Okay? So that option is E. Question 2, the option is B. So let's look at what question 4 holds for us. In question 4, we are told that 2 over y plus 3 is equal to what? 1 over 3. So this will give me y plus 3 equal to 6. Y plus 3 equal to what? 6. So which means y will be equal to 6 minus 3. Y will be equal to what? 6 minus 3. Now let me shock you with something. I know some students haven't taken note of this. Do you know that I can rewrite this as this? And I've not done anything wrong. Food for thought. See, when it comes to maths, you need to expand your mind. You need to release your mind. Release it. Release it. Right, so this will now give me 3. Don't worry. That will be for another day. So the answer is B. Now, question 5 is your test of inequalities. Question 5 is your test of inequalities. It says y plus 3 over 5 is greater than or equal to y plus 2 over 3 plus 2. Now, the LCD in this case is 15. How do I know that? 5 and 3. So I'll multiply through by the LCD. If I multiply this by 15, I'm going to get 3 into y plus 3 greater than 5 into y plus 2. This 15, you know, this is 2 over 1. So this 15 divided by 1 is 15 times 2. That will give me what? 30. That will give me what? 30. And that will be equal to what? 3y plus 9 greater than or equal to 5y plus 2 plus what? 30. Plus 30. Now, simplify this part. That will be 3y plus 9 greater than or equal to 5y plus 20 plus 32. Sorry about that. Plus 32. Where am I getting that from? Sorry, this is 10. This will be 10 plus 30. I hope we know why. 5 times 2 is what? 10. Please, sorry about that. And that will give me That will give me 40. You see, that's the kind of mistake you can make in the examination hall. You multiply and forget to allow what you're multiplying. That's why it's a bracket. Whatever you're doing would affect everything in the bracket. So take note of that. That's a likely source of that could be a likely source of mistake in the exam. The next thing you rewrite this. This will be 5y plus 40. Now notice it becomes this. Look at this. If I were facing this way before and I turn like this, I seen it. Please look at the sign. Look at it. It was like this. And I turn like this. What happens? It will become like this. So take note of that. So that will be 3y plus 9. So that will be 5y minus 3y less than what? 9 minus 40. So which means 2y is less than minus 31. 2y is less than minus 31. So let's see, let's conclude that. Right. So it means that y will be equal to what? Or y will be less than what? Minus 31 over 2. So what is that? Y will be less than what? Negative 15 1 over 2. Negative 15 1 over 2. So that answer will be what? That answer will be E. So the answer will be what? Okay, good morning, class. We are on to our grade 9 revision for the exam. This is the month of the exam, and we'll be looking at NECO 2015 Paper 2, and we stopped at question 5 in the previous edition. So we'll take off from there with question 6. Right. Question 6 is saying that that 6 men can dig a pit in 4 days. 6 men can dig a pit in 4 days. How long will it take 4 men working at the same rate to dig same pits? Now, before you attempt a question, try to understand the direction of the question. When it comes to doing work, if you increase the number of people, the task is done faster or quickly. So if you look at the question, if you have 6 men dig a pit in 4 days, we would expect that 4 men will dig it in more days. So your answer already should be in that range of the days being more. So with that understanding, I will start to solve. So sometimes not just to solve, you need to know what the direction of the question is. So question 6, we have 6 men in 4 days, 4 men in more days, obviously. So that will be equal to what? 6 times 4 divided by 4, and that will be 6 days. Take note that for inverse, the mathematical implication is for you to multiply these two and divide by this. For direct, the mathematical implication for direct is for you to go what? This way and divide by this. But since this is an inverse relationship, as one thing is increasing, the other is decreasing, it will be what? This times this divided by this. Okay, and if we have done that, our answer will be C. Question 7. Question 7 says, simplify the expression 4p plus 45q minus 3p minus 40q. Now, it depends on how fast you can process. But I've started teaching students to look at the question and immediately get the answer. If you have followed me, if I've taught you for a while, recently, I mean more recently, like in the last 3 months, I have changed the technique. Before I was saying collect like terms. No, I discovered that collecting of like terms don't help the student. It kills an aspect of you, what we call random thinking. One thing a student must be able to do is to do random thinking. So now, as the problem is here, like this, I insist you do your work. Look at 4p minus 3p. What's that? That is p. Look at 45. Look at 40. And that will be what? Plus what? 5q. So you should be able to look at it and do it. These questions in the exam should not take you more than 5 to 10 seconds to solve. Right, question 8. In question 8, if the base of a triangle is 6 cm, the base of a triangle, so what I'll do is, it would be nice to just draw the triangle, just for the purpose of teaching. It's what? 8 cm. Sorry, 6 cm. And the area is x squared. You are told to find the height. So the height, okay, thank you very much for that answer. So the height, the area is equal to x. Hope I got that right. It's equal to x, and that will be equal to what? Half the base, which is 6 times the height. So this will go here 1, this will go here 3. So 3h will be equal to x. What is the height? We divide both sides by 3, and h will be equal to what? X over 3. So x will be what? H will be what? X over 3. And that option is D. Question 9. In question 9, it said the sum of two consecutive numbers. Now, this is an idea. Here I will pause to do some explanation. There are two types of consecutive numbers you can have. You can have consecutive numbers where it goes odd, even, or even odd, even odd. Or you have another type of consecutive numbers where you go from odd to odd or from even to even. So when you're solving questions, you need to read the question very well to know which type they want you to take care of. Right? So we say the sum of two consecutive numbers divided by their positive difference. Now, positive difference can only be obtained when you say big minus small. I'll come again. Positive difference can only be obtained when you say big minus small. If they tell you negative difference, it means the smaller number minus the bigger number. Let's take note of that observation. Right? So with this understanding, we say let one of the numbers be what? N. So let the smaller number be n. So if it's consecutive number, it's going to be n plus 1. That is it. If you look at 1 going to 2, you need to add 1 to 1 to get to what? 2. Now, we said the sum of two consecutive numbers divided by their difference, that will be n plus 1 minus n, will give us what? 9. Right? So what is this equation? This becomes what? 2n plus 1 equal to this n minus this n will give me 0, equal to 9. So 2n will be equal to what? 9 minus 1, and 2n will be equal to 8, meaning that n will be equal to 4. Now they say find the larger one. So the larger will be equal to n plus 1, which will be 4 plus 1, and that answer becomes 5. So the larger number will be what? 5, and that option is what? E. Okay? Question 10. If a car travels 18 kilometers in 2/9 hours, find the speed of the car. What is speed? Speed is equal to distance over time. Speed is what? Distance over time. Right? So what would this be equal to? The speed there is given as 18 kilometers divided by the time. The time is what? 2/9. Now, what would this be? Please, anytime you have a number like this, take note that this is a numerator. That 9 becomes a numerator. So what do you have? 18 times 9 divided by 2. And that will give me what? 9 here. So 9 times 9 will give me what? 81. Are we together? Right. So question 11. Ejiro is 8 years older than her younger sister. Ejiro is what? 8 years older than her younger sister. So let's you can use anyone to solve it too. You can use Ejiro, you can use the other. So let Ejiro's age be X. So if Ejiro is X, it means that her younger sister's age, will be what? X minus 8. You get it? But if you had called Ejiro's sister's age to be X, then Ejiro's age will now be what? X plus 8. Let's take note of that. But I'm referencing from Ejiro's age. All right. Now, say the sum of their age is what? 64. It means that X plus X minus 8 is equal to 64. Now the question is, what is Ejiro's age? So Ejiro's age is X. By going in this direction, I will get Ejiro's age faster and quicker. So this will now give me 2x equal to 64 plus 8, and 2x will be equal to what? 72. So what is x? X will now be equal to what? 36. So Ejiro's age is now what? 36. Do you have an answer like that? Yes, that is what? C. This answer is 81, and that will be D. All right. Somebody's camera appears to be frozen. I hope you are still with me. Right. Okay, so that's for question 11. Let's go to question 12. Let's go to question 12. In question 12, you have 4x plus 1 over 3 minus 2x minus 1 over 2. Here, the LCM will be 6. Please, I'm trusting that nobody has issue with getting LCM or LCD. I'm trusting that nobody has an issue with getting LCM or LCD. So this will be 6. 6 divided 3 will give me 2. And that will be 2 into 4x plus 1 minus 6 divided 2, it will be 3 into 2x minus 1. Please be very careful. I'm going to show you why you have to be careful here, because this point can be a changing place for your answer. All right, this will be 8x plus 2. Be careful, this 2 is multiplying the content. So the content must increase by a certain factor. Minus, this will multiply this, that will be minus 6. This negative will multiply this negative, that will be plus 3. So be careful, that's one place I want you to be very attentive to. So now, remember I said that I'm breaking away from the idea of having to rearrange and whatever. It's OBJ, we don't need to write too much. Look at it, 8x minus 6x, that will be 2x. 2 plus 3, that will be plus 5, all over what? 6. So this is the answer to the question. So this is the answer to the question. 2x plus 5 over 6, and that option is what? E. Okay, let's go to question 13. Let's go to question 13. In question 13, he said there that solve the inequality 5x is less than what? 7x plus 22. Are we together? The first thing you need to do is to rewrite this. I think this was the illustration I gave yesterday. If the hand is facing like this, okay, let's understand the reason for our change. Now, we don't expect to have a negative on the left-hand side. So when you're solving, you have to ensure you deal with the negative on the left-hand side. So if I bring 7 this way, I'm going to have negative. So I want to avoid that. Now, so we rewrite. Look at it this way. If I turn, the hand will now what? Face this direction. So it means that this will be what? 7x plus 22 greater than. You see now, this is greater than or equal to 5x. It's the same reason where when I teach you, if I teach you inequalities, when I teach you inequalities, I always don't tell you this sign means greater than. No, it's relative. The signs greater than, we don't have greater than or less than. The sign should be as a function of where the position of this, which letter, which number are placed on the other side. Because, for instance, if I say this, now look at this. This is 2 is greater than 1. This is also 1 less than 2. So it's relative. Depends on how you're seeing it, right? So this will now be 7x minus 5x greater than or equal to, these 2 will cross over, or rather the right thing to do is to subtract 22 from both sides. So this becomes what? Negative 22. And that 2x will now be greater than or equal to minus 22, meaning that x will be greater than or equal to negative 11. How? If I divide both sides by 2, I'm going to get what? 11. I divide both sides by 2, I'm going to get what? 11. So that answer becomes negative 11. And what option is that? That option is C. All right. Okay, so let's just. All right, so this for question 14. 3 into n minus 2n minus 4 into n minus n. You open up the brackets, and you have 3n minus 4n. That will give you 3n minus 4n. That will give you minus n. You have minus 6n plus 20n, which will be saying 20 minus 6. And then that will give you n minus n plus 14n. That will also be 14n minus n. Depends on what option is available in the question. Now, for this, somebody will solve this. Yes, but essentially, that's not what it is testing. This is what it is testing. This difference of 2 squares. This will be 9 plus 4 into 9 minus 4. And that will give you 13 times what? 5. And that will be what? 65. So this answer will be what? 65. I heard somebody say, Uncle, I got the same answer here. Yes. For an OBJ, nobody will be able to detect that. But if you see a question like this in theory, please be very careful. If you solve this, you are going to get the answer wrong. What the examiner is testing is this method. Take note of that. So